Ligers, Celtic Ligers, Celtic Ligers, Celtic Ligers, Celtic Ligers, Celtic.
Hello and welcome to Celtic Car Pod.
Yeah, Celtic Kilkenny.
So if you hear little noises, it's because we're back to mic rustling.
Yeah.
No tripods here. It's a tripod-free zone.
Am I coming through okay?
You're coming through louder than me, probably, actually.
Perfect.
That's the way I
Just
like
leave it
it,
as
baby.
is.
That's not Welcome to the Jungle. I'm gonna live forever.
I'm going to live in the jungle. Welcome to the jungle.
We got fun and games.
We got
Tonight
monkeys
it all is all about, sunshine, lollipops, and then it's like, oh, wrong side or something, and she turns it over. Welcome to the jungle. You know, The Simpsons.
welcome to the jungle.
Oh, welcome
we got
to
sunshine
the
and lollipops.
Simpsons. Yeah,
We got Simpsons. We got Homer and Marge.
yeah,
They are walking through the jungle.
yeah,
And Bart is a monkey.
yeah. That's this episode is. I don't know. What if the Marge and Homer went to the jungle and all of their kids were animals?
Yeah, what would Lisa be?
Lisa would be
Snail?
I thought a giraffe for some reason.
Yeah,
And then Maggie would be.
a spider.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And Santa's little helper would be a dog.
Yeah, and the cat would be a panther.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it would be the Wild Thornberries. The Wild Thornberries.
No.
Oh.
In that one, Nigel was the dad,
Yeah.
not Homer. Can't remember the mum's name.
Neither can I.
And then someone else was the daughter,
Yeah.
and then someone else was the other daughter.
Yeah. And Donnie. Don't forget Donnie.
We can only remember the men's names.
Well, I remember Eliza Thornbury. I don't remember her sister's name. I don't remember her mother's name.
And then there was a monkey.
Called Darwin.
Darwin. It's ironic.
Yeah, that's funny, isn't it?
I'll be a monkey's relative. The monkey's... What?
Uncle.
Yeah. This is fitting because we're in Kilkenny, home of Cartoon Saloon.
Yeah, I was going to say another animation fact, given that we're in the heart of Irish animation, is that Klasky Supo animated the Wild Thornberries and the first few seasons of The Simpsons. And then they were looking for too much money, which is probably... When everybody says that, they go, oh, they're looking for too much money. And then you find out the figure and you're like, that sounds like a perfect amount of money for the work that they're doing. But anyway, they got replaced by some other studio who actually did some really good episodes as well. But
If Matt Groening came to you and said, I would like you to animate The Simpsons,
yeah.
would you do it?
Oh, yeah. Big time.
Really?
Yeah.
What changes would you make?
It would be quite easy. I would just go back. I would like, if money was no option, if they were like, we just need you to completely resuscitate The Simpsons.
And take as long as you want.
Yeah. Then I'd be like, we're going back to, well, it wouldn't even need to take as long as we wanted. It would just be like the old days where you just like sell pencil, paper, cells, just go back to that. Or if you're going to do, no, I was going to say maybe there's a digital compromise, but I don't think there is, because I was watching a video by the since cancelled Pogo. Do you know that guy?
No.
He does like mixes of stuff. He did one with like Star
Welcome
Trek
to
Next
the
Generation.
jungle. Everything.
But he did one with like loads of clips from The Simpsons, and I was watching it, and they showed all the bits from the earlier Simpsons, and then out of nowhere they put in a bit from like season 4 million or something, and it was just like you got a bit of fucking, I don't know, you're eating something and just fucking, there's a bug in it. I don't know. Well, I don't know what I'm getting at. It's a bit hot in the car. Let's,
Don't blame the car, right?
But you know what I mean? Where it really like upset me because I was really grooving on that old animation and seeing the cells, and like in some of the restorations of the cells, like when they kind of remaster it, it's like you can see like a bit of a shadow underneath Homer where he's like on the cell.
Oh, yeah.
And then in the digital one, it's like all their, and also when they're moving, they're like more organic. Their proportions, like they stay as on model as they can, but there's a little bit of give, and the line quality like fluctuates slightly.
Yeah, so organic.
Yeah, but
It's like a normal human.
but when you see like the ones that have a model and they're just moving, it's like, oh, Marge is like her. She's just, there's nothing about her that's I don't know. It doesn't look like somebody's drawn it in a long time.
I'd make them green.
We've been there. We've done that.
Yeah.
They were yellow. Now they're green.
Now they're green.
Yeah.
You came to me. So this is a user submitted
Okay.
article
Yeah.
from Tara C.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
What do you make of that?
I don't know. I think I've said it all with that noise that I made.
It is a good one.
Good.
Because sometimes, sometimes in this situation, standards slip. Do you ever run into that situation?
I do.
And
Yeah,
then suddenly people start talking about how oh, this thing's actually cool.
yeah. It's like, oh, they've lost it now.
But,
Usually it happens when people get like kids, and it's like,
No, I remember I was going out with someone when I was like 20.
Yeah.
We went to see this incredibly bad film starring someone weird, like you're one out of what's that one with the animated girl, and she's a normal girl as well. I'm Lizzie McGuire.
Okay, yeah, sorry, thank you.
And it was about the people breaking into celebrities' houses and trying on their clothes.
Oh, I know what you're
It
talking
was called
about.
Bling Ring.
Yeah, it was directed by Sophia Coppola, and it had Emma Watson in it. I
It
believe.
was, and I was like, maybe it's cool. Like,
Yeah.
maybe this is cool.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, you convince yourself. You just go, I don't know. There might be something more to this.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, unfortunately not. Becoming less and less common the older I get.
Yeah, you grow out of it.
Yeah, because you don't feel like I don't need to indulge this person. So when you get something, you're just like, this is good actually, and I can objectively say that. I'm not just saying that to.
But you also get to the point where you're like not everything I like is good.
Oh yeah, absolutely, that too.
Anyway, this is, speaking of things that are good and not good, this is good.
Okay.
Because we were talking about the age gap discourse earlier.
Yes, we were.
This is fit in. A beef bachelor from rural County Clare, he started this agency, like a dating agency. I'm not going to read it.
Okay.
I was going to read it out, and I decided not to.
Yeah,
I'll just
forget
tell
it.
you about it.
Yeah. Oh, forget it.
Yeah. He is this 45-year-old farmer from Clare, and he has started up a dating agency. So he, for the past 2 years, he's been organising trips to Jerusalem and Fatima.
Okay.
For Catholic people
Yeah.
to visit these places. And now he started this thing for middle-aged farmers, and they're going to go to the Ukraine to meet women.
All right.
And he says, let me see, there's some good quotes. He goes, James himself is hoping to find a wife in Kiev.
Not this James.
Not this James. He's 46 years old, but his ideal wife would be age 27 or 28.
Okay.
He goes, it's like, why would you go to the Ukraine? He goes, well, first of all, there are 10 million more women in the Ukraine than there are now.
This is smart,
Yeah.
This is like I was watching that clip from Superbad where he's like he was trying to decide whether his name would be McLovin or Muhammad, and then it's like, because Muhammad is the most common name in the world, That's the same type of logic. Brainiac, what do you think about it? All the women are there, genius. I have to do all the thinking for everybody,
I really should have read this beforehand.
Yeah.
There's one more quote.
Yeah. We're all having fun here.
We're all.
I want to clarify as well that you let me know. Is it a very loaded thing to say we were talking about the age gap discourse without providing any further elaboration on it?
It's funny. I was talking to someone else about the age gap discourse,
Yeah.
and she was telling me this story about. She was talking about a 35-year-old woman went out with a 50-year-old man.
Yeah.
And she was like, think of the power dynamic.
Oh, come on. Oh, I don't know. Do you think that's whatever? It's a whole other conversation. I don't even want to fucking get into it. Just the idea of like that you're an older person, therefore you have control over this young person. It's like, and also
personally in my head, it's like once you're over 25,
yeah,
you know, all bets are off.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, I think it's just abusive people. It's not anything to do with like an age gap. You know, like it's like, oh, he has control over her because he's older than her. It's like, what are you, a fucking baby? Are you like, you know, how old? Like, there's a certain, like you said, over 25, you kind of feel like you should have enough head on your shoulders to be like, there are bad, like you can get stuck in an abusive relationship and that's disgusting and awful. But I just don't think it's anything to do with that age gap between them. Yeah.
The weird thing about this is a full page article
in the Independent
on page 3.
Yeah.
And it's just an ad for this guy's dating trips to the Ukraine. And then they're like, why wouldn't you just go to Let's Do Varna?
Yeah.
Because this is exactly, it's like a festival for farmers to meet women.
Yeah.
He's like, they're too old. He wants them to be 27.
Is that true, though?
What?
Do you think, well, I mean...
What he means is there's a bigger age range. And it seems like there's a horrible possibility that I'll get set up with a 35-year-old woman.
So do you think, or does he talk about like that they're old and they're like 40s, 50s, which is not?
No, the way Lister Varna works is you get set up, you go to a matchmaker and they set you up. So if you said, I want to meet a 27-year-old woman, they'd help facilitate that.
Right.
He just doesn't even want to see a woman over the age of 30.
Yeah, he probably has it in his head, like, you know, I know Melania Trump isn't from the Ukraine, but there is that kind of thing.
You think he's just watching the TV, like rubbing his hands, being like,
yeah, exactly.
Trump is the luckiest guy in the world.
Exactly. No, I think it's like those type of more, for want of a better word, like Slavic countries, you know, or like that Eastern Europe, where they think that actually there's like some fucking perfect 10s out there who are in the farming community.
Well, that's just what he believes.
Yeah.
Because he goes, a lot of these women are very smart.
Yeah.
Some of them could speak up to 4 languages.
Yeah.
And men would be able to go on as many dates as they like, with as many women as they like.
Yeah.
So he's just like, we're going to go off and get the ride.
Yeah.
In the
From
Ukraine.
the most beautiful women in the world.
And then marry one of them.
Yeah.
And bring her home. And the only other lad who signed up is a 72-year-old lad.
Nice.
Who only has a 45-acre farm. Like, even I know that's bad.
Yeah, there's somebody in Ukraine. I guess this is somebody who's trying to design a power dynamic as well. Probably,
yeah, that's it.
Where it's like, oh, they probably haven't seen that much land in their entire lives.
Yeah. Yeah. They'll be so impressed by the sight of a cow that they'll just marry me straight away.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you ever seen that? What about the lads who go off to... There's already services like this. And it's like, this is what you pay for every message you send to the Ukrainian women. You pay $1 every time you message them through the site. And then he goes over and, like, it turns out the woman he was messaging, it was like her brother. Had nicked her profile picture.
Yeah.
And then he's like, no, I want to meet her. As soon as she sees me, she'll fall in love. And then she's like, who are you? Yeah. He's like, I'm here to bring you home.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, please leave me alone.
It's kind of funny how he's trying to legitimize going on the lash with the lads. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
As in, like, lads, I was on fucking Pornhub last night and I saw some bangers of Ukrainian ladies and they're probably all like that. Let's head over there. We'll have a few of them and I'll get married.
It's like the 75-year-old farmer's like, yeah, sounds great.
Yeah, and it's like, anyway, we formalize this. Do you want to have a company and register as a limited group, and I'll have put your names down here. You're the director, you're the secretary. Okay. It's like, now it's real. It's like, no, it's the same stupid thing that all these fucking dumbasses have been doing for years.
Yeah. I think there's a whole lot of, like, we think that all these farmers don't watch porn, but I think they exclusively watch porn.
Oh my God, yeah.
I think
never thought that they didn't watch porn.
I did. I thought they were all virginal, sort of like
no,
innocent
absolutely
mind,
not.
but they're actually polluted. Like,
no, they've like one of those maps that they have of like the counties broken down and the type of porn that they watch. It's like in the like these kind of dense farming areas. Like they're like probably watched more porn in their lives than I have. And so they're now getting.
You watched a lot,
and I've watched a lot,
hours a day.
But like, you know, they're getting into areas now where it's like, whew, the water's a little too hot for me over here. It's like, you know,
It's download like a special browser or something to watch it.
I think Simon Amstel had a bit where he was saying like he's watched so much porn at this. He's been single for a long time, watched so much porn. He's like, now I need to be watching something where at least one of the people is crying in it. You know,
What the
he was kind of joking. He's like, this is the areas that I'm getting into in my kind of loneliness,
Right.
And I just feel like the loneliness of a country farmers are so profound that I can only imagine the shit that they're, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to be an asshole. I think that's, you know.
It's like a woman whipping a horse, all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Swinging a cat round by its tail.
Just talking to a woman berating a cat saying it's so small, but it's also her brother, you know. It's like stuff like this where it's like,
Yeah. Strange psychological
this tiny cat.
territories.
You can't even walk on two legs. Can't even walk on two legs. Look at you, and I need to feed you, you stupid, sexy cat.
Feel like
We're coming up with something.
you're
here.
repeating something there.
In the dark old days, like on the internet, you know, it's like you wanted to choose something innocuous so it didn't come up on the whatever, on the family history, because I didn't know how to even fucking delete history at that time. But as a result, then you end up in like these corners of the internet, which is just like it'll have irreparable damage on your psyche, you know, stuff that you should not see at any age, let alone like 12 or 13, you know?
Yeah. Nah, I wasn't up for that.
So anyway, that's what those farmers, that's like, they're well past that point. You know?
Oh, yeah.
They saw that and they were like, what else is out there?
That's it. Those when they come back, they're going to get crucified.
So what about my articles? I've got stuff to talk about.
Yes.
One that we didn't talk about last week, which I thought was funny, is there was basically like the hidden hands of Dublin City. Why is Dublin City shit? Why can't anybody do anything? Why can't the council do anything? And they're like, oh, it's the Dublin City Council CEO. Or the executive. And then all of a sudden, like, it was like, okay, we better do something because they've seen our unelected guy who does whatever the fuck we tell him to. So give them bins, give them fucking toilets, you know.
Yeah, and get your head back below the power panel.
Yeah, so like one of the things that was said was Dublin City Council CEO has explored, this is from like 2 weeks ago, explored crowdfunding for controversial whitewater rafting project.
Yes, I read about that. Just leave it alone.
It's like, no, it has to be like all these people who were saying, oh, well, we want to train the fire brigade and stuff like this. It was like, no, look at this guy. He didn't give a fuck about the fire brigade. He loves whitewater rafting. He wants to do it here.
That's it. He just wants to go swimming. Like,
yeah.
That's so weird. It was like everyone's had their friend. It was the idea they just won't drop.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
secretly hoping they'll drop out.
Yeah.
Forget about it, and they don't do it.
Yeah.
He's like that.
No, but like, because crowdfunding, I just have the idea of like...
Can you imagine that? Like,
yeah, no.
Like, what? DCC on Kickstarter? Being like,
exactly.
These are the risks.
Okay.
Well, it risks getting burned down because everyone hates it. I risk getting killed because everyone hates me.
Yeah. Oh, but you know that title used to be, like, I didn't realize that. You've probably seen it now because you're watching a bit of that Ballymun documentary. But when they refer to the Dublin City Council, or as it used to be called, the Dublin Corporation, and they had like an executive, you know, and then now they have like a CEO, and it's just like, it just couldn't be more transparent of like, oh, this is a business, this is a theme park, come in, collect your shit, leave. And yeah, we you know, the thing that is everybody's pointing out now is like the same councillors who were taking pictures of South William Street going, this is barbaric, are now taking it going, great to see local businesses getting a bit of money.
It's like literally the night after, like, so the last few weekends, South William Street has been like really busy, and then the guards turn up and make it violent. Yeah. And then the next morning, Rogan's put up a picture. Yeah. And at like 10 o'clock, the street was packed out. Yeah. I was like, oh, they're complaining. Yeah. Again. Because it looks exactly the same as it did on Saturday night. Yeah. And then they're like, no, it's actually really good.
It's good now.
The only difference is that they're buying things from a different shop. Because those people are also buying stuff. Yeah. They're just buying cans and an off-light.
Exactly. I mean, this is just further evidence to my high-minded conspiracy theory that they're trying to corral everybody back to the spots where you buy stuff, but not that way. You get a fucking lashing if you don't buy it that way.
Yeah.
It's just like, and it's...
Well, that's it, yeah. It's like you can buy drinking in off license if you drink it at home, but if you want to drink it outside, you have to buy it at a pub.
Yeah.
And,
but like the other thing that was said, and I don't know by who, so I believe it was
just claim it yourself.
No, this isn't something I want credit for. It's something where they said, "Oh, but people were loitering in the city centre, and they weren't even paying any money." And it was like, they're allowed to do. That's not loitering.
Loitering is just being.
Yeah,
you're allowed to be.
There was like an episode of Star Trek Deep Space Nine where they have the Ferengi who are meant to be like this, just a stand-in for a completely capitalist society, and basically Quark goes to meet the leader of Ferengnar, and he's in a waiting area, and they're like, he'll be about an hour, so that'll be like 2 strips of latinum a minute, so he has to pay to wait in the waiting room to see the politician. But it's just that was literally, they're doing that now in city centre. They're like, have you paid to be here? Have you paid to chill out with your friends in the city centre?
That's it. Next time a guard comes up to me, I'll be like, what are you? A Ferengi?
Yeah.
Take your 2 strips of latinum and leave.
Yeah. Also, there's other stuff about like the guards going along the canal and they're saying, canal's closed now.
Yeah.
Leave. And then, patron of the show and person who gets a lot of mentions now, Paulie Doyle, he was like, either he was having a pint somewhere, he was walking past somewhere where there was outdoor drinks. He filmed this like perfect video of like, or maybe he didn't film it. Somebody can let me know. But ultimately, like, it was positioned from behind like a pint glass, and you could see the guards getting some people who were sitting opposite the place to pour out their cans. It's just like, and there's a bunch of people like on Twitter who were saying, "Oh, I was walking." Do you remember like last week I was bristling a bit at this guy saying that, oh, Twitter is an echo chamber and you shouldn't really be commenting on it. But then one of the things I read on Twitter was that this woman's like walking home with a hot chocolate and the guards made me pour it out. Nobody's going to be writing about that, but that 100% happens.
Yeah.
And that's as important as like, all these guys who effortlessly segueing. The thing, Philip Ryan writing his famous article this week.
Oh, he had a tough one. Philip Ryan, it was so good to see.
Oh, well, he's always fucking it up.
Nah, this was extreme, even for him.
Do you think?
It was so, so this is stuff about, he wrote about Sinn Féin.
Yeah. Sinn Féin conducting polls, but they were passing themselves off as a fake polling group called the IMRA, which is a lot of people have gotten mileage out of, so we're not going to do it on this podcast.
No, I was saying that it should be called the Provisional.
Yes, the Provisional.
First of all, it should be called the, what is it? IMRA.
IMRA.
Then it should be called the Provisional IMRA.
Mm-hmm.
Then it should be called
Contingency.
No.
So
then there should be another one called the Official.
Oh, yeah.
And then you go back and you call the first one the Old.
Okay.
Right? And then you have the Continuity, IMRA. Then you have the New. Yeah. And maybe the Dissident.
Yeah.
And then you have one called Sinn Féin. You know?
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got there in the end, But yeah, he wrote that, and I don't know what a lot of people are going like, he's fighting for his boys. Obviously, he's always doing that. But he put it up. It was funny because that was like what it immediately looked like, to singularly go after one party for something that all of them are guilty of. And
well, that's it. Because immediately.
Yeah.
So he came out with that article being like,
he turned off the replies as well, which is also funny.
He was like, Sinn Féin are doing this, and we're doing this.
Yeah.
And then Varadkar was like, because Rob Gale also sent this into us. And he was like, Varadkar immediately comes out and he's like, before we start digging, we did this.
Yeah.
Until 2008.
Yeah.
And then it was the guy from Fianna Fáil. It was
Mark McSherry, which is so funny.
And he was just like, this is disgraceful.
Yeah.
This is illegal. And I calling for heads to roll. And all this. And then Micheál Martin was like, actually, no, we did this. Well.
And then Mark McSherry is like, he should resign.
Yeah, even though it was before he was Taoiseach.
Yeah.
So then Philip Ryan had to be like, I read he had a piece in the Indo, and he was like, playing make-believe is something children do. But this week, all the politicians have been doing it too.
Jesus fucking wept.
Yeah.
Just trying to cover his own arse, like his most partisan attack yet. And then he just like, well, I tried to warn you, they're all guilty of it. It's like, fuck off.
I know. And he was like, maybe you should stop playing dress up like little children.
Maybe you should stop playing dress up as a fucking journo, dumbass. There was like, that is such a generic dad thing to say, isn't it?
You freaking dumbass.
Somebody's like, anybody like, no, the idea of being like, you're playing bloody journo. Clowns, is it? Are we talking about the doll, is it?
Yeah. And are we?
Are we? Because I'm pretending to be a clown, and I don't know, I'm losing this one. But no, the other one that happened, so he did that, and he was clearly, honestly, he was, it was a partisan attack. He's trying to, they're all guns out, they're all trying to, for Dublin Bay South. And, but what happened is, so
explain the Dublin Bay South thing for the ignorant listener.
There's a Dublin Bay South election on, and it's taken on a lot more prominence than I think anybody really expected. And it's because every candidate in it, except for our favourites, are all the dumbest people
They're all
ever.
complete lunatics.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Probably talk a bit more about it later, but all this, there's a lot of competition between the parties at the moment.
Yeah.
And Philip Ryan is obviously batting for Fine Gael.
Yeah. So if he comes out with this, but like the thing that I wanted to say about it was, he wrote that article. He did a follow up where he's like, oh, it turns out Fine Gael are guilty of this as well. And then he left the comments on for that. And you're just like, why did you do this?
Yeah.
And everybody's just like all the gifs of just laughing, people laughing. And
people were like, this must be a hard one for you, right? But then did you see what more came out about Fine Gael?
Yes, that's what I had here as well, because that was the next thing. So I was like, Fianna Fáil does it, Fianna blah, 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 does it. And
Bertie Ahern came out.
Bertie Ahern came out and was like, yeah, of course we fucking do it. Maybe I didn't do it. I'm not sure if it was illegal. I didn't do it. And then the other thing that actually happened was Paul Murphy was on the Tonight Show, which, is very confusing because the Tonight Show is like this American institution in my head with Jay Leno.
Yeah, he was on with Jay Leno.
He was on with, the Virgin Media have like a Tonight Show with Matt Cooper and stuff.
Who's Matt Cooper?
Matt Cooper, he's like a rugby commentator. He's like a political person, and he's a real dope. He has no insight whatsoever. And then Ivan Yates used to be on the show as well. No, I don't know if he still is.
And David Letterman.
And so Jay Leno's like, you seen this? You heard about this? They're going out and they're pretending I'm rare. You can't make this up, folks.
Yeah, that's it. They're going to be called the provisional.
By the way, that's reference to a real, genuine tweet done by Fionn Sheehan, who is the political editor of the Irish Independent.
The political editors are as stupid as people.
I mean, he's like, that is like the dumbest. Like Pat Leahy is the most asinine and dumb, whereas at least Fionn Sheehan, like, he annoys me, but he's so ridiculously partisan. You know? Whereas, like, because I think the thing that really bugged me about that tweet was that he wrote at the end of it, it's a dirty game, politics, something like that. Like, oh, shut the fuck. This is like just these guys. They're like, this is what it's like in a Leinster house. It's rough and tumble, and it's just like, you're such dweebs. You're such fucking nerds. You really want this to be the West Wing, and it really isn't.
No, it really is not the West Wing.
So, like, Paul Murphy, just to be clarified, though, Paul Murphy went on Virgin Media tonight, and he was like, we all fucking do it. It was like, we go to he's like, do you know how much it costs to get a poll for a constituency? About 10 grand. A lot of parties either can't afford that, So he's like, we go up, and then he's like, you don't say what party you're from, because that would skew the results of the poll. But you say that to them. They ask, what, are you in a political party? And you say, yes. What's the political party? And I was like, well, I prefer to tell you after the survey so it doesn't skew the results of the poll. And then if it does, if they continue, then you just tell them. He's like, that's what it is, you know? And then he also, so Matt Cooper's like, but you're keeping people's information. He's like, no, we're not. We're getting with our answers. We're not logging it. We're just figuring out, like, to get a general consensus of the area. He's like, but you have the electoral register. You're at their house. You have their name, and you keep that. And he's like, we don't keep that. So it's like, you just have to believe, like, do they keep that or not? And it was kind of a story for the converted, because it was literally like, do you think that Sinn Féin is a clandestine group of, like, criminals?
If that's what he's saying, I mean, Sinn Féin were doing a lot more.
They were doing a lot more.
Like, they were actually misrepresenting themselves. Because they had, like, a fake polling management company. They were told, like, if someone asks who you're with, lie.
Yeah.
And here's your fake badge and here's your fake thing.
Yeah. But, like, all of them have done that.
Have they?
Well, Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, anyways.
But they were, like, coming up with fake companies and stuff.
I think there's nothing to say that at the moment, as far as I'm aware. I haven't read anything, but just the way that they're immediately backing down makes me think, like, as in, like, because that is such a key component. Is they would be like unbelievable. I mean, we did it, but we never pretended to be anybody else. But now they're going, hey, look, we all did it. Well, what's over there? You know?
I think it was a very effective article until the rest of it came out. Because, like, there's a lot of people who are absolutely terrified of Sinn Féin gathering any information on anyone. And I think people were freaked out by that.
I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm just from a completely different era, but it just doesn't intimidate me, to be honest.
I would sort of much rather they have it than Fine Gael.
I don't Fianna Fáil. Like, when I think about Fianna Fáil having, like your
Fianna
address
Fáil
and the target
would set up a fake bank account in your name. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, yeah,
or like sign you up for a credit card or something.
Well, they have, like, they've done stuff with, like, the voting register. Like, back in, you know, the days of the referendum, they were discovering there was people who were hardline anti whatever it was, you know. But people were saying
anti this or anti that.
No, but you know what I mean? They would be like, in the repeal and marriage equality referendum, they were saying absolutely make sure that you are still registered to vote, because there are councillors who are going around seeing who is, like, registered recently or not, and just getting people stripped from the records. You know, this was something that was said. Like, you know, but these are, like, you know, this is stuff I heard online. I'm not sure you know what it is, but, like, I've seen a few people went to check there, and it turns out they removed me from the register because I hadn't done such and such. And this,
I know someone whose mum took them off the register before the abortion.
Exactly. You know, like, stuff like that has happened where it's like, and I don't know, just with Fianna Fáil, like, I don't know, they just seem like fucking thugs, if I'm honest. I know Sinn Féin, people say about Sinn Féin as well, but, like, for some reason, maybe it's because I've lived in this country, I have a much, and especially lived in the west of Ireland, I have a much better idea of, like, somebody going, what's that guy's address? I'm going to go around and fucking box his head for the thing he said down at the local about me. That's stuff that I know has happened in those areas. It's like, I don't want them to know my address. I don't want them to come to my house.
I feel like with Fianna Fáil, they're more likely to beat you up.
Yeah.
And then with Sinn Féin, they're less likely to hurt you, but when they hurt you, it's like, or they'll, like, strap a car battery to your nuts and, like, shock you to death.
Yeah. Well,
remember those two councillors?
No, I don't remember that.
Remember? They kidnapped your man.
Oh, yeah. And then they also, wasn't he involved in the shooting as well?
The Regency shooting.
Yeah.
Him and his dad.
Yeah. Well, their councillors are mental. One of the things that happened this week is one leaflet got released, and it was for Lynn Boylan's campaign, and it said, make housing affordable again. And people were like, who the fuck decided that? You know? And then I was like, but it didn't appear on any of the other pamphlets. It didn't appear in any of the videos. It was clearly just a rogue set of pamphlets. And I was like, some fucking councillor did that. 100%. You're just like, their councillors are mental. They're all
so
head cases.
Weird.
Yeah.
What was that thing you were telling me? Did you send me a tweet by someone and they accused Sinn Féin of stealing their idea?
Oh, yeah. Norma Burke, who we also mentioned previously, because she was saying that Dean Van Wing, I think it's Van Wing, doxed her, and that he was... Oh yeah, just, like, abusive and harassing her, and but, like, I've been following her for a long time, and I've also been following Dean, and I have a very hard time believing that he actually did do that. You know,
right? So you're saying he didn't do it?
No, I think, like, I don't think he no, he didn't dox her. I mean, she couldn't provide proof of that at all. And as far as, like, what it was with doxing, it was kind of probably saying, this is Norma Burke and I don't like her. And it's like, you doxed me.
We're on Team Dean in this car.
Yes.
In this car pod.
But I like, follow Norma Burke, and she's a bit of a, you know, card, to say the least, anyway.
Bit of a Dean hater.
Yeah. But what was the tweet? I'll find the one, but it was literally, basically it was like, somebody was like, make housing affordable again. Jesus, did they think this one through? And then she was like, you think this is bad? They stole my slogan years ago. And her one was like, vote for change. It was just like this innocuous.
Yeah. I came up with vote for change.
Yeah.
It's like literally Obama's.
Yeah, exactly.
slogan. Like,
yeah. That was it. My slogan, vote for change, got borrowed by Sinn Féin after I used it last year. So 2020. What a shame for them. I withdrew this year. They could have borrowed another one. The poor lambs have had... Oh, so I guess she withdrew. I didn't realise that. The poor lambs have had to resort to giving makeovers to old Trump slogans.
Well, another one this year would have been...
It'd be like, what do we want? When do we want it? Now.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah.
All these... you know, with great power comes great responsibility. What is it?
Nanu Akbar.
A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. So a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush.
You know what I say?
What?
2 birds in the hand is worth one, more than one in the bush.
Yeah, agreed.
Agreed.
But yeah, to finish off the thing, we're all coming to this. If you like the worst case of friendly fire in this election so far,
and like so true to form.
Yeah,
because you're like, okay, Sinn Féin were, you know, covert.
Yeah.
And Fianna Fáil were just confused. So, like, what would make it a singularly Fine Gael way to go about?
Okay, I think you're referencing one thing and I'm referencing another because there's 2 good bits for this.
Well, I'll tell you my good bit.
You tell you your bit first.
It's that they promised to pay...
pay a paltry sum of money.
They promised to pay volunteers, like the young Fine Gael members, 50 quid to do this. And then they didn't pay them.
I know. It's 50 quid.
Just give them the 50 quid. Like, you probably have that in your wallet at any time.
But not to mention, like, from what we heard from Paul Murphy, it cost 10 grand.
Yeah.
So what? How many volunteers did you put out there and you're paying them 50 quid? You have made money, motherfucker.
I know, that's it.
But the one that I was talking about was, this is a tweet from Hugh O'Connell. Maybe you've seen it. Fine Gael by-election candidate James Geoghegan has admitted that...
I've gotten so many angry messages about how we don't know how to pronounce that name.
It's like, you think that I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I also don't care to learn to pronounce it. So it's not actually like...
Yeah, but they keep messaging me.
Yeah.
Numerous people.
If you have complaints, message James. No. That's what you should, that gets results. He's mentioned it to me, so on the pod.
And I'm ignoring it.
James Geoghegan, you happy now? You want his name to be pronounced correctly? I was actually very struck by, because we did like a little promo and I was like mentioning Bridget Purcell in it. And, but I was like, oh no.
PPP nomination.
Yeah, PPP, vote number 1.
Dublin South.
But also, no, that wasn't the one I was thinking of. I was thinking of the one that we did for Deirdre Conroy, and I was like, I really don't want to have her face in this any more than is necessary, because I was like, I don't want to, not that it was going to take off in any big way, but like to have her face on a video that we did, it's like that's pretty much no news is bad, there's no such thing as bad publicity.
No news is bad news.
Okay, yeah. So we need more news on Deirdre Conroy. How's her campaign going now? We forgot to mention last week that she responded to the article and was like, oh yeah, it was just we're just joking.
Joking.
Just a bit lighthearted. Come on, you haven't laughed at your laughing.
You've been on the
before.
internet. I'm a troll.
Yeah.
I just did it for the lols.
We say like, like a Parasite level joke where it's like, their clothes smell funny and they're weird. You don't find that funny? That's so funny.
It's funny because it's true.
All of my friends were laughing, all the people I hang out with.
Because they do smell.
They do. Like, poor people smell just a little differently to us. Not necessarily bad. I don't like it, but it's not bad necessarily.
Maybe it's for some people.
Yeah. Pheromones, They have to find each other somehow. So, Fine Gael by-election candidate James Geoghegan has admitted that he carried out fake polling for Renua and Lucinda Creighton in 2016.
Yes.
So this is the worst case of friendly fire. Like, that was what I was thinking.
So he didn't even do it for Fine Gael?
No, he did it for Renua in 2016. And at the time, basically, Sinn Féin were said to have done it in like 2015, which... And all of these still so far have predated GDPR regulations. So they're technically not illegal, but just maybe not great.
Yeah.
And if they still retain that information, then it would be illegal. But I don't know how you find them that out and verify it. But it is so funny that they like keep. There was also a bit this week where Simon Harris was up there talking, and he just goes like, and something Sinn Féin, da da da, and then he suddenly goes, their position on the Special Criminals Court is cowardly, and they're awful and terrible, and I hate them, and I'm going to pass it over to Richard Bruton now. And it was like just the most cynical thing you've ever seen. And there's also this thing, it was like James Geoghegan is standing right next to him, and I was like, why doesn't James Geoghegan say any of this? Why do we have, here's Richard Bruton, here's Simon Harris, Special Criminals Court, you don't want a Sinn Féin in there, do you? And it's like, don't talk. And it's like, all right, let's get Philip Ryan on the job. Did you know Sinn Féin? Bit suspicious, they did this, didn't they? And then all of a sudden it's like, the candidate who we keep trying to associate with Leo, Simon Harris and Fine Gael as a whole with his fucking blue shirt, it turns out now, like, he did polling for Renua, the party that he says that, he has no association with whatsoever.
I know, that was... And, like, the other thing is that he keeps pretending like he wasn't associated with Renua.
Yeah.
I think he's literally said he's not sure if he was.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, because he's listed as, like, a founding member.
I know.
And also, like, but I mean, even if he wasn't, he said, like, he was a member of that party during the referendum, and which was started for that specific purpose. And
no, he's tried to play it like, maybe I was, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
And,
when he said, like, hashtag we repealed the
and now he's like literally doing covert ops for them. Because the other thing is that so the accusation was that Sinn Féin did it when you say 2015.
Yeah.
And then when Fine Gael came out, they were like, we did it, we stopped it in 2008.
Yeah.
And then it turned out that Leo Varadkar used the polling in 2011.
Oh.
So they straight up lied about that one.
Yeah. But also, it's been revealed now that Sinn Féin have also done it in, like, 2019. Yeah,
it's so weird that Sinn Féin would be like, we did it so recently, but not that recent. Like, just admit you're doing it. Everyone admit you're doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I think the 2019 thing is, like, you're getting into more dangerous territory there, because that's post-GDPR.
Is it?
But I don't know if they were doing it as... Anyway, it's like... I just don't give a shit. I know, that's care.
It. It's like GDPR, is there a provisional GDPR and a continuity GDPR?
Yeah. And the real GDPR.
And the other one.
Freaking Baskin freaking Robbins over here. 48 different types of GDPR, am I right?
Yeah, that's it. Just one, please,
Yeah.
I'll just take the GDPR, none of this mocha frappa bullshit,
I want flavored coffee.
Yeah.
So let's see. Anything else that's good? Oops, my phone is setting off the thing. Damn it. Such an idiot. Nobody was messaging me. I just forgot that it makes that sound when you're...
What?
You know when you put your thing, it just the signal goes into the recording.
You idiot.
You freaking idiot. So let's see what's this other thing. Taoiseach Micheál Martin has said he does not know if the law was broken by Fianna Fáil canvassers posting. We've already said that.
Bloomsday on Wednesday. How's that for news?
Hope you're all prepared.
Get out to your local. Did I ever tell you when I went in? Sweeney's Bookshop? You ever been there?
What is Sweeney's Bookshop?
It's like the James Joyce Pharmacy Bookshop.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I've never been in, no.
And I went in, a friend who's of Asian descent.
Yeah.
And he was like, great. And then he gave her a copy of Ulysses in Chinese to hold while he took a picture of her. And he was like, do you speak Chinese?
Oh,
no.
Lord.
Oh, well, do you mind if I put this on the website anyway? And then he gave me a copy like French to hold.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I do it to everybody. I'm an all sides kind of guy. I'm racist on every angle. But only now that you've seen me be racist on this very specific angle. I have one that is not opening for some reason, so I'm kind of annoyed by that.
Yeah, just like a copy of Ulysses.
Never opened. Don't read Chinese, not,
Ulysses for sale, never opened.
Well, I like this article, so I put it in the things to read, which was something from the Irish Examiner earlier in the week. Now, I've read it, and I haven't retained any of it, but I just thought it was funny.
What?
Owner of Neffit.ie claims theft as site removed for pointing to false COVID-19 information. A Fianna Fáil supporter who purchased the Neffit.ie domain and directed it to the party's website and to an anti-vaccination site says he is the victim of theft because it was removed.
What?
So yeah, Damien McMenamin purchased the domain names www.nyac.ie and www.nefit.ie and set them up to direct users to Fianna Fáil's websites, as well as another site titled No Jab for Me.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I'm trying to find out what he's deciding to do about this now.
That's unreal.
Yeah.
Imagine doing that, being like,
Yeah.
not even just doing it to the anti-vax stuff.
Yeah.
He's like, 2 birds, 1 stone.
Yeah.
Sick, you know? Get a few new Fianna Fáil members and also spread a few vaccines.
For all the fucking flack that Sinn Féin people get for being anti-vaccine and anti-lockdown, Fianna Fáil are like pretty much exactly the same. There's the exact same type of mindset. It's like, sure, I'm fucking tough enough, you know what I mean? There's when we were talking about when we were back in Kerry, where it was like that. There's genuinely a group of people in Kerry who believe that our genes are just hardier.
Yeah,
that's why we're not going to catch it.
Yeah, I told you about that. Down in Kerry, there's a rumour going around that because they were never sullied by Norman blood, that they were resistant to the coronavirus.
Yeah. Makes sense, you know.
But it literally turned out like it was just a lockdown working. Because they were like, it's not here, is it?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, the whole country's been in lockdown for months. And then as soon as the lockdown is over and people start going out to Kerry, they all got it.
Also, what happened in Kerry was like, they had there was 2 times where their numbers went like fucking massive.
Yeah.
Because it turned out that like the internal structure of the hospitals meant that nobody was getting the case numbers right. So there was a backlog of cases at one point. So it's like, oh, it's very low here. It's like, no, it's just your hospitals are really shitty and we don't know how many cases there are. Mr. McMenamin then called on Minister of State Ossian Smith to get involved in an email stating...
Yeah, that's pronounced Ossian.
Is it?
Yeah, my parents told me that the other day. I always thought it was Ossian, and I was like, that's a nice name.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like now that that's Ossian, because it's like...
No, I thought it was interesting.
It feels like the anglicised version of that, doesn't it?
I thought that seemed like a Viking version of it.
I've been informed by registrar without consultation of domain removal, which amounts to theft, as I paid for this, Mr. McMenamin says.
Like, he paid like 30 quid.
I mean, if that...
Like, how much do Celtic Ligers cost?
Oh, like that costs like €1 for like the month, for the year, sorry. Like sometimes you get them on a deal, and there's certain website names which are like, you know, more expensive than others.
Yeah.
But I'd be very surprised if something that was an acronym like NIAC.ie would have cost any. What's kind of more embarrassing is that the government don't have those.
Yeah.
Like that they weren't, you know, like people were complaining about Facebook groups spreading false information about vaccines and COVID, etc. And it seems like if you were to combat and fucking Vradker was saying, what's Facebook doing to counteract misinformation? And it turned out they hadn't even registered the domain names, which people could hijack us into fucking anti-vax stuff.
It was like, there was always that famous saying where whitehouse.com was a porn site.
Yeah.
But that was literally in like 1996.
Yeah, where people hadn't even, what's a website? You know
yeah,
what I mean?
but now it's freaking 2021. Like, how is that, you know, John Oliver? It's 2021.
Yeah. Karen, it's 2021, Karen.
Karen, log on.
No.
Yeah.
No, Karen, no. Just past the point where it's in any ways funny.
Yeah.
I think I've heard, I saw a video of him because, like, you know, they've, because of COVID, there's no live audiences. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll crack him on now because he won't be fucking mugging for an audience. And he's slightly better, but still reliant on, like, that's why we've set up, you know, a Supreme Court of parrots.
He loves that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it's like...
Or he'll be like, it come up with an acronym that smells like asswipe or something. Yeah. You know?
Because they're complete arseholes.
Yeah.
He loves that. And then when he refers... I'm annoyed by this, and I'm not American. But when he goes, well, we're doing this, you know, in like a really
that annoys you.
It really bugs me.
Why?
Oh, I don't know. I just don't like identifying as an American when you're just like the most English fucking guy ever.
But he's American citizenship.
Yeah.
But you think that doesn't matter?
No, I think it matters.
That's not what you're saying.
I don't know. I guess I just feel like...
So I think the same thing about Trevor Noah.
Really?
No, I'm messing.
Well, I would feel the same thing about Trevor Noah. Trevor Noah.
You're as bad as the Sweeney's guy.
No, it's not that. It's like,
No, I know.
yeah, I think like whatever place you spent the most of your life in, and then also you can go somewhere else and like, but you know, let's say you leave a war-torn area, or you know, going somewhere and then finding your community and then call, this is me and these are the people, you know. Like I get that, and then being like a citizen in a kind of functional way of like, I just need to be able to vote and get like my fucking dole or whatever. All of this makes sense to me, but it's the part where it's like, maybe I'm being a bit like, you know, like a bit of a bollocks, but there's something that's like, I don't think John Oliver was like he's just very English, like, and England treated him well as well. He rose up to the top ranks of all these things.
John Oliver is just clearly there for a job.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I just I don't feel like, you know, he's in it so much as he's like, but then I guess I mean, who am I to judge? I just find it kind of annoying is all. But maybe that's racist, so apologies. Tell me I'm wrong, and you'll probably be able to convince me. McMillan men insist there was nothing misleading or harmful, just opinions from reporters and medics, simply redirecting to other sites that do not have information available in Irish newspapers. However, in one email, he goes on to paste a link to a video of UCD professor Dolores Cahill, who has risen to prominence spreading false information about COVID-19. So that was the last bit of that article. We were finding it funny that, like, you can tell me if we need to cut this, but like that we know somebody who's kind of palling around with Dolores Cahill.
Oh yeah.
But that like there was a guy who was like blogging and he was talking about people needing to take to the streets and take matters into their own hands and basically encouraging them to commit like basically fascist acts of violence against people. And it was like, we know that guy has been in the same room as
I know, that's it. Because whenever you talk to people, say there was that like anti-lockdown gig in Dolores Cahill's castle.
Yeah.
And
I still can't believe she's got a castle. It's
I know.
insane.
And then you meet people who are there and they're like, oh, everyone's so sad and really chill.
Yeah.
And then this guy comes out and he's just like, we need a military coup now.
Yeah, like they really do believe in this idea of like sovereignty and then their rights being infringed upon. And they're in peril and stuff. So it's like they're very chill people because they like you're talking about like autonomy and all of us being in this together. But then when you put that into actual practice, it suddenly becomes incredibly like militant and aggressive. So yeah, I don't know. We went to a CBD dispensary there today.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Yeah, it was great. I would highly recommend it.
What was it called?
I don't know.
Little
Stoners LLC. No, it's not. It's called something else.
Like Little Stoners LCD sound system.
Yeah, because that's what I listen to when I'm not getting high off my CBD.
CBD is so shit.
You bought a bunch.
I really like it, but like I bought some of that kind.
Little Collins.
That this, you know.
Yeah.
And they keep trying to pretend it's weed.
Yeah.
It's like it's not.
No.
Just
I was like, James got someone out, and then he got like a coffee with.
You were extremely disappointed.
I know, because I was like, oh my god, maybe I'll get some baked goods, and maybe I hope I don't get the munchies or something. And then I had a bit of it, and I was like, this literally just like you said it best when you're saying like nothing at all. No, when you said it tastes like somebody like. Was it stubbed at a joint inside a fucking cake? You know, and you're just eating this, and I was like, oh right, it just is a piece of cake that tastes bad because it's got some awful thing in it.
It tastes like a roach in your drink or something.
Yeah, it's vile. I mean, it was good. It wasn't like oh, I gotta spit this out. It was just like it wasn't a pleasant, lovely treat.
You'd rather it without it, like.
Yeah, but I was comparing it to like if you were having like a whiskey and Coke. It's like, oh god, that's sharp, and I don't know if I like that, but you know, I'm gonna get a bit of a buzz, so it's worth it. Whereas this one, it's like. Didn't get anything, and then I just ate a shitty cake that cost $4.50.
Yeah.
It was a very good, like as in like it was an expertly prepared cake, and I imagine without the CBD in it, it would have tasted delicious. You know?
But they had to ruin it.
But well, yeah, we were just saying, it's like I'm convinced. We went in there and we were like masked up, and there was like nobody in there wearing a mask, and it's like, 100% convinced everybody in here is in Dolores' Cahill's castle at some point.
Yeah. That place is a place that keeps getting raided by the guards.
Yeah.
And it's...
That was an interesting... I'm very glad you asked them about that, because you were just like, oh, I heard the guards are like raiding here, and they were just like, yeah, and I was like, and then why are they doing it? And they provided an answer that was like very, you know.
So their answer was that at the same time, the government are investing in
CBD and
CBD and hemp.
Stuff, cannabis and
I'm just gonna call it hemp.
Sure.
And hemp stuff.
Yeah.
Because I don't know the terms.
Neither do I.
But it's just sort of like, basically, there's a lot of funding that's going into making all this stuff.
Yeah.
But they want to sort of protect it as an investment that's only available to large multinational corporations.
Well, the other thing that they said that was interesting is like they're following EU law, which actually should supersede Irish law.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened with the GDPR and all these things. And you're seeing it now with the Mother and Baby Homes Commission, where it's like, we don't actually have to do this. It's like, actually, you do.
Yeah.
You know, you are beholden to these things. And they just kind of say, oh, Attorney General says no.
Well, that's it, because it's like, when it comes to things like CBD or mother and babies, it's like EU doesn't really get a look in.
Yeah.
When it comes to things like CETA,
the
like Canadian, European, transatlantic thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, well, Europe are making us do it.
Yeah.
And even with the case when Europe aren't, like, America was like, if we don't get this done soon, we'll really be lagging behind the rest of Europe. And then you read that, like, Germany and, like, a lot of the other major economic groups in Europe haven't ratified CETA.
And they've got the exact same concerns that everybody here does.
And I think the concerns being that it will give international companies a lot more say when it comes to how countries direct their economy. Yeah. Because, like, it would allow companies to sue for...
well, it would set up an investor court, which is a separate court system, which could create a chilling effect. But, like, Radker's defense of that was that we already have... companies are already able to sue, and they're already able to do this. And but then the question is, like, well, why do they need another apparatus to do it?
That's it. And it's like, it's already bad, because, like, you'll have things where we'll be trying to protect our environment or something like that. And then company will sue, and either they'll win or, like, the expense of being sued creates, like you say, the chilling effect.
Yeah, exactly. It's like that thing where, like, Bezos owns a bunch of the Washington Post, and then it's like there's no thing written down that you can't write a story about how Bezos is a shit. Yeah. But you definitely wouldn't feel very comfortable about your job if you did.
Yeah. But, like, you look to other countries, like, I think it was Indonesia were trying to ban cigarettes. Yeah. And then you have companies that have larger, basically, economies in those countries. Yeah. And they can just really threaten.
As in the companies have more money than certain countries. Yeah. And they can just, like, throw the weight around.
Indonesia tried to, like, bring in anti-smoking measures.
Yeah.
And then the tobacco industry just sort of makes sure that they can't afford to do that.
But not to mention what also happened. You know, we were talking about it when we mentioned it before, but, like, CETA needs to happen because we need to be on par with Europe. What about when Europe says you need to tax multinational? Well, no, that's different. That's different. It's tax sovereignty. You're attacking our sovereignty. And so last week, that's also what happened, where the G7 met up, and there was, like, a load of very positive murmurings. So for a second, I was like, oh, hell yeah, maybe our time is up. Because I would, like, see this fucking country as it is razed to the ground if it meant that something better could happen.
Oh, yeah.
Like, something about this thing where it's like, oh, no, unfortunately, we built our entire economy on this awful, disgusting thing, which fucks over everybody. And then, so we can't do anything. It's like a Jenga tower. It'll fall out. And I was like, I'll take that hit to see you suffer. Yeah. Because also it's like, the other thing you think about is, like, does it reduce your status in Europe and make you like this person who's like the bold boy at the door? And then it's like, good, I would love to see that. I would love to see you feel a modicum of discomfort and to have your quality of life lowered, even if it means that mine takes a hit as well. But anyhow, Tony Groves and Martin McMahon have been talking about it over on the Echo Chamber, and here's what he said as well. He said that they were in touch with Pascal Donoghue, and Pascal Donoghue was going to come on the show and talk about the new, because basically, okay, so long story short, they were saying, we need to target corporate tax havens, so we need to make a global corporate tax of like 10% or something, and just make that the standard, and they absolutely have to pay that. But then a lot of people have pointed out, like, you shouldn't really be that worried. You shouldn't really be that hopeful if Pascal Donoghue is not like absolutely shitting it. Like, if he's not, and he's not appearing out there going like, this is outrageous, this is ridiculous, this is terrible. He's going, oh no, please don't, not that, you know. And so apparently, like, if you examine it all that carefully, it's like, it's not really that big a deal. And then the other thing is, it just completely leaves the global south behind entirely. It's like, you know, the global north has started to get to a point up here. It's like, okay, we need to do something about this because they're taking our money. And so they're setting, here's where the line is and no further. And you just go nuts in India. Who gives a shit? That was another thing I forgot to mention.
India.
No, it was. But we'll talk about it in a sec. But in the G7, apparently, then, like, Tony Groves tried to get Pascal Donoghue on the podcast. Pascal Donoghue agreed, and then dropped out to go on some softball interview on RTE.
Oh, really?
And he was like, "Oh, fair play to him. He's going to come on here and talk about it with somebody," because Tony Groves has like a background in economics, and he's, you know, like, he knows this shit, so he'd be able to quiz Pascal on it. And then he was like, the fact that he pulled out kind of says it all as far as he's concerned. And I think it does. But Tony Groves, the phrase that he's using is like, we need to be turning one tap on while we're turning the other one off. It's like, we do actually have all of our, you know, all of the money in this country is built on this absolutely like bed of sand, you know. So if this changes, we are fucked. But that's what they would have you believe, that the only option is to be fucked. So that's why we have to stick with this. No, we need to turn on the other tap while we're turning off the other one, and make sure that we're protecting ourselves against what's inevitable, which is that, like, they're going to be cracking down on tax havens. And I think in many ways Joe Biden is like, no, he's the worst. I really hate him because he's one of these people who, like, I know this sounds really nihilist and bad, but I just, like, I would prefer the thing stayed bad, because then people might actually feel compelled to do something about it. Whereas Biden is this tactical kind of guy of just releasing the pressure valve enough so that people kind of, well, you know, this is great. We're talking about this, you know, the environment. We're talking about, you know, taxing corporations, like, effectively. And it's like, they're not worth the paper that they're written on, but it gets away with it because he's got this charming, befuddled old man kind of energy off of him. And then you have Kamala Harris out there this week going, don't come, do not come. You know?
What was that? I saw it. Was that as straightforward as her being like,
yeah, to migrants?
Off.
Yeah.
Really?
She was saying that people coming from Guatemala, people coming from South America, do not come. It's a dangerous trip. Do not come. Do not come.
Crazy.
And so, yeah, kids in cages, it doesn't matter anymore. Who gives a shit, you know? Now they're a different thing. They're not kids in cages. They're like kids in temporary holding facilities until such time as, you know, their parents can be reallocated back to, I don't know, whatever, repatriated. But anyhow, that was all. The other thing I forgot to say is Lynn Boylan put it up, and I don't think it really got maybe it did on like other news media outlets, but at the G7 they took it upon themselves to do or maybe, I don't know, it was just coincidental, but the EU voted on the TRIPS waiver to temporarily waive the vaccine patent, and it passed by one vote. MEPs, like, and Fine Gael voted against it, and of course, as soon as it passed, they were like immediately on Twitter going, here's why we had to do it. And, you know, they take up a lot of air saying why, and they sound exactly like the Greens, just like, here's why we had to do a thing that everybody hated and is obviously bad, and it's because such and such and such and such, and then everything comes back to is just money.
Yeah.
Because somebody's got to make some money off of this.
Yeah. What were they even pretending to say? Like, what was their claim? Was it just like bullshit?
Oh yeah, it was bullshit, plain and simple. But I mean, like, I think that's one of the tweets that wasn't opening for me. I think it might have been taken down.
Yeah.
But Maria Walsh voted against it the first time and then for it the second time, and then said that there are certain concessions that have been made which allowed her to do so. But one of the things is like, because the TRIPS waiver again is another one where it's like, it's not even entirely like, it's not exactly the best. So it's another compromised position. You know, there's still money to be made. There's just not as much money to be made.
Yeah.
So that's what she was kind of doing, like, you know, making sure that there'd still be a little bit of money for people in there. It is funny though that they, you know, they already have these apologies pre-prepared because they know what they're doing is bad, and then when you see them running the campaigns they're running in Dublin Bay South, it's like they have to run as a completely different party to make themselves viable. And it's just like an acknowledgement that your whole brand is shit. It's like everything about you sucks if you're just like, you know, to do the exact opposite of what we are is how we expect to win. No conviction, no commitment, just the game is well and truly up. It's like, we're making a bit of money. You hate that, you know? Or they're being like, you dum-dums, you don't know what your betters are like, so we're going to speak to you in the language that you understand until we get the results we desire.
Yeah.
But let me just try and find Fine Gael trip. Something went wrong. Shut up. I think it's the trips waiver. I think that's where I was going wrong. Sorry, everybody. Look, I'm not finding it. We can just presume it's a Fine Gael or trying to talk. Like, these are the people who voted to let migrants drown in the Mediterranean.
Yeah. They're so... Fine Gael they're so hypocritical. Freaking unreal.
Yeah.
But, like, one of the things they said recently was... maybe we said it on the last episode. But it was like... Barack was saying Sinn Féin just want to give you everything for free, and tax you for nothing.
Yeah.
But then, do you remember?
Yeah, you were saying this was that was a revelation on the last one where he said, like, what do they want to do? Tax them. It's like, good Lord.
And that was the last criticism they had of Sinn Féin, was that they wanted to tax them.
Yeah.
And did you know that Stephen Donnelly worked for McKinsey?
Yeah.
McKinley.
Yeah, McKinley. No. She voted in favour. I'm trying to find. I'm going down through the comments to see if like somebody's sharing what he said.
What was the other thing that Finan Sheehan said? The dark arts of politics are like Fight Club. Did we read that out?
No, we were referencing it constantly though.
On this episode?
Yeah, because that's where he says the provisional bit.
Oh right, well this is a different tweet.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh well, that one is gross.
This one's really...
Read this one out. This one actually is. You know, I guess I misremembered one as the other because they were both bad tweets, but this one is like, you know, this one is like probably how Dominic Cummings feels, just this Machiavellian genius in the mix. It's like, that's politics, baby.
Yeah. So this is the same guy who was tweeting about the
provisional
IMRA.
Oh yeah, that was it. Yeah.
And then he goes, the dark arts of politics are like Fight Club. The first rule is you don't talk about it. Dodgy polling goes under the radar with convention rigging, unauthorized leaflets, spreading rumours about rivals and unorthodox fundraising. Politics is a dirty game. And then there's this quote of, or here's this picture of Leo Varadkar standing out of a polling station looking like freaking Voldemort. It's
kind of funny because those tweets were posted one after another, and basically what they're doing is going, well, you caught us, I guess we're all doing it, but hey, IRA, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, just, you're not, like I said at the time, you're not well, you're not right. Like, you just can't, you just like, even when they do it, it's like, I don't know, is there something about that picture of like Leo where it's like, there's something meant to be charming about how duplicitous he is, but when Sinn Féin does it, it's actually incredibly dangerous, you know? Like, there's that same feeling that people get with Bertie Ahern, where he's like, oh, he's a cheeky scamp, sure he stole from us and he fucked over the whole country, but you know, you gotta give it to him. Like, everybody loving a chancer, it's like, Sinn Féin, suspicious, dark, murky, whereas, hey, that's just politics, baby. It's like it. Fight Club, you know, with Varadkar.
I know, but when Fine Gael get into power, like, the threat with Sinn Féin is that people are worried about what Sinn Féin will do when they get into power.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, Fine Gael made thousands of people homeless
Yeah.
and caused the deaths of thousands of others.
Yeah.
You know? Like we were talking about Ballymun earlier.
Yeah.
Like, I was talking to someone who was, maybe I said this on the podcast as well.
Hmm?
They were going out to, you know, those people are getting fucked out of the Holiday Express. They're people.
Yeah.
Did we talk about this?
No, go for it. Keep going.
There's all these, like, a
We
lot
might
of.
have talked about it, but
Yeah.
I'll wait to find out.
But they, people in Holiday Express in Ballymun,
Mm-hmm.
they've been there for like months and years.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
they're homeless. And then they're given like a few days or maybe a week or something. They were like, you have to get out.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, like, somebody went out to give them a hand, was just saying, like, they're walking around Ballymun, then they're putting up these leaflets to say, like, this house could be a home. And
Yeah,
they put
yeah.
it up on vacant property. And they said that they found the exact same poster put up by other people
Yeah, yeah.
3 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, that's under Fine Gael. Because,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Fine Gael's policies disincentivize actual, like, development for the average person.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
No,
like
absolutely.
you were talking about the O'Devney Garden stuff earlier.
Oh, yeah, that was really... I got into... It was a very brief... It wasn't a back and forth, but, like... I was like...
But you were saying that, like,
Yeah.
some councillor, who was that?
I don't know.
But he goes to you, it's like,
Fine Gael, anyway. He's in Fine
What?
Gael. He was in Fine Gael.
yeah, O'Devney Gardens is going to provide 1,000 homes for people. And then, like, what he meant was apartments. And then it's no coincidence that apartments are being excluded from this bulk buying act.
Yeah.
So if there's like 1,000 houses built,
Yeah.
only a small percentage, relatively small percentage. No, actually, what is it? 10. If you buy more than 10, you have to start paying a tax.
Yeah.
Right? But you can buy as many apartments as you like
Mm-hmm.
without any sort of penalty.
Well, here's what it was. Somebody it was an article. It was about how, like, oh no, it was a tweet. This guy was tweeting out something. It was the Fine Gael councillor, and somebody else, I think it was Claire O'Connor, was retweeting it.
Mm.
So basically she was like giving out about, because what happened is Oscar Traynor Road was a bit of a bloody nose for Darragh O'Brien and Fianna Fáil. You know, they keep trying to say Sinn Féin voted against it. Not only Sinn Féin voted against it, but also the Greens voted against it.
Yeah.
Along with, because it was like, when the developers won with O'Devney Gardens, they really lost the run of themselves, and then they were like, here are some crumbs, sign it or you get nothing. And then they were like, we'll get nothing. So, well, actually what they did was they said, no, we'll turn down these homes. And then they came up with a proposal themselves, and everybody on the council agreed to it. And
That's
now
it.
it's gone into mothballs, because they're just like, so this guy was retweeting it, and he was going like, well, this is what they wanted. Now we're going to be like, it might be a decade before we can talk about plans on this site. And it's like, there are plans there. They have stuff there. They have things that benefit people. Why aren't you running with them? And it's like, you know, but what gets lost then is like, there's all these people like agreeing with him, going like, yeah, that's what Sinn Féin wants. Because there is a group of people, now I'm not sure if they're in any sort of majority, I don't think so, who believe that Sinn Féin want to exacerbate and increase the housing crisis so that they can have an agenda and a platform to run on.
Yeah.
First of all, the housing crisis is not going anywhere, so they don't need to make it worse.
Yeah.
In fact, if they made it better, it would be to their benefit, because then it would prove that what they want to do works.
Yeah.
So then, but then anyway, but this guy is going out there. He's like, this is what they want. They fucked it up. And it's like, well, why? Why have they fucked it up? If they've come up with a proposal and you can read it and everybody can come to some agreement, why does it have to go into mothballs for 10 years? And it's just all reasons. And it's because we're taking our ball and going home, and fuck you.
That's it. Because it's all pertains to, it's like the selling of public land to private companies so they can build for-profit housing on it.
Yeah.
And then sell it back to the state.
Yeah.
And, like, people just act like Sinn Féin are voting down Fine Gael's proposals, whoever's proposals,
Yeah.
because they don't want any housing.
Yeah, exactly.
But really, it's just they vote them down because they put forward better proposals that would develop more community
engagement and consideration, even, like some of these people are like, you've got some people who are talking about whitewater rafting. It's like, why is that? What is that addressing from any of the things that are in town? It's a barbaric kind of just thumbing your nose at the people who you're representing. Although this guy isn't representing them, that Dublin City Council, the Dublin executive, but whatever. But anyhow, that was it. And so he said underneath, somebody wrote underneath, this is disgraceful, basically like they should hand it over to the private sector. They should have just signed it and we could have had some houses by now. And then I was like, oh yeah, just like O'Devany Gardens. Oh wait. Which is a dumb thing to say. I hate when people are like that. Whatever. I did it. It's done. We can't do anything about it now. So your man commented underneath at the councillor and he was like, no, there's 1,000 homes that are going to be built in O'Devany Garden. The planning has been put forward. So it's like check in May. It was like, by the way, it was written that in 2022 or 2021 that they would have to start construction on these properties, but then they just pushed it back like another fucking year. And then they put in 1,000 homes, but then it's because they added homes to it. And I think an apartment is a home, just not the way that they're going to make it.
But that's it, because they're built and they're building apartments, and then one company is just going to buy up all the apartments and rent them out for incredibly inflated prices. Well,
that's what when they say affordable houses, like, oh, we've earmarked these for affordable houses. That means that people are going to be able to buy them. But then their definition of affordable is like based off of what the developers say. Oh, how much does that cost? I don't know, 500,000 for that like one bed apartment or whatever. Like there's people telling them on the council and like associated, and then because they used to make houses, they would have known back then. If somebody comes to you and tells you this figure, it's like, yeah, but what's the figure?
Yeah.
It's kind of funny because like when it comes to the children's hospital, it's like, how cheap can we get this done? And then when it comes to housing, it's like, well, I guess this is what it costs. I guess it's very expensive because there are private investors who need to make a bit of money off of it. So that's what basically it was. Just like, I was just saying what I said there to him. I don't know, he didn't get back, James told me, but like I could just predict this idea of like this conversation. I felt like it was in Minority Report, just being like, he's going to get back to me and say like, because I was like, how can they fit 1,000 homes on the O'Devany Garden plot? Because I remember it being like a few hundred homes. And now it's like, because it's apartments, they can fit a lot more in there. Yeah. And who's going to be able to afford to live in there? And the construction should have already started, and the private sector is fucked, and you should be ashamed of yourself and your party. But I thought he would be like, what did I think he was? Remember I said it earlier, but now I'm kind of hot in my brain.
And then you would have countered with, you're gay.
Yeah. I can't believe I forgot that I said that I would say that,
Yeah. You had that locked and loaded.
Yeah. Give me a chance, man. Give me an opportunity to say it, and then,
Yeah, then he chickened out because he knew what was coming.
Yeah.
I brought up that for some reason, and I can't remember what, but...
We're at about an hour 20.
Well...
Should we thank the patrons?
Yeah.
I know you brought it up for a reason. I'm just letting you know that...
I couldn't remember.
Yeah, it's far too hot today. It's much too hot. What does he say? No, I'm sorry, but I cannot talk about my client's secret illegal account.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, crap. I shouldn't have said he was a client. Oh, crap. I shouldn't have said it was secret. Oh, crap. I definitely shouldn't have said it was illegal. Oh, it's too hot today. So I actually said it when I tried to recite it. I remembered what it was.
You were humble bragging.
How do you pull up patrons on this fucking thing?
I'll do it. I'll do it. Leave it.
And the theme today is hot. Heat.
Yeah.
Heat. Yeah? Temperature? Did you pull it up?
Yes. So here we are.
Oh, sorry. So, patreon.com/Celtic Ligers. $5 a month gets you a bonus episode.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of content on there. Also, we should clarify now, if you do not want your name to be read out, then please message in and we'll be very happy to oblige you.
And please text me every week because I always forget.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Do that.
Okay. First name and a new name.
A new name. Welcome. Thank you. We're
first
very
name,
appreciative.
new name. Sean
Donnelly. do you mean Sheehan? How are you getting
It's a
Sheehan?
joke. It was a joke.
Fine.
I was just having a laugh.
What about Thawne?
What?
Thawne Donnelly. Isn't you're thawing out, you know, like heat.
Okay.
It was good. You fucking give me getting
Yeah,
nothing.
no, it was really good.
Come on, whatever. Next one.
Kevin Larney. What about Kevin? What about Kelvin? Like the unit of measurement of heat.
That's so good. Yeah, let's move on. But I had a good one for that as well. Unfortunately, wasn't very good.
What
actually.
was yours?
No, it's very bad actually.
Say it.
So, it was that old joke. No, it's too long. Sorry.
Just say it.
What did the pig say in the desert?
I don't know.
I'm bacon. And then you say, what did Kevin Bacon say in the desert? He said, I'm Kevin Bacon here, you know?
Right.
And then we're like 4 few degrees separation from Kevin Larney because Kevin Larney and Kevin Bacon have the same first name.
Right. Okay.
So it's a very convoluted joke that works on a number of levels. One is there's an actual joke, then there's a derivative of that joke, and then it links into a game that with Kevin Bacon's name, and it actually kind of becomes a version of that game.
That's very good.
Yeah. But it was...
It's not funny, but it's
not
good.
funny, but you know.
But it's clever.
Yeah.
Rachel Deckard. So...
sitting out in the deck with a few brewskis because it's hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about Rachel Desert?
Oh, fuck, that's better. All right. Okay. Next one.
Podcast Naharan.
Forecast Naharan, and it's going to be a scorcher.
Yeah,
let
it's
me
going
tell
to be
you.
hot.
Yeah. Foreskin Naharan. I'm doing my
foreskins to the wind.
Kevin Bacon game, just spreading out of control. You know.
Yeah, did you hear what I said?
Foreskin spreading out to the wind.
Foreskins to the wind, yeah.
That's pretty good.
Podcast Naharan. Oh, we said that one already.
Stuart today.
Mikey Finn.
Are you sure that's not Mickey? Like it says Mickey.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Mickey Finn.
Yeah. And that's now this one's bad, okay? But it is seeing a guy dressed as Mickey Mouse while you're standing in the longest line ever, and it's just like the heat is just too much. You're in California or Florida, probably Florida.
Or Paris.
Or Paris. Paris get hot? We don't know.
Or you're in a pub in like Leash or somewhere.
Yeah, and there's some guy with a raggedy costume, and he's been like hanging out on the promenade trying to get photos with people, but nobody wants it.
Yeah. Getting sick inside of the suit and not cleaned it up properly.
And yeah, that's it.
Joanne Heffernan.
Joanne Heffernan.
What about
what about Joanne Temperturnen?
Tempernan. Who's texting you?
All these dating apps that I've forgotten to delete, and they go, "Hang in there, baby."
What?
Have you ever get those dating apps that just like, you know, it might be the one. Come back on. We miss you.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
And it's like,
don't mind that nobody's liking you.
Don't
it's
give
fine.
up. You know?
Don't give up. Keep at it. There's someone for everyone. Benson. What about?
Did we just skip over one?
Joanne Heffernan.
Yeah, we had Joanne Tempernan, which was great. So let's keep going. Joanne Tempernan, because you have a huge temper. You're really hot-headed.
Yeah.
Cool. Got it.
What about Joanne Temperate? Then.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Benson.
Benson. The sun is too hot.
Yeah, bright sun.
Yeah, bright sun. Benson. Go for it. Next one.
Bright sun.
Now we're really rocking, so if you disrupt the momentum, I don't know if we'll ever get through this.
Francis Breen.
Francis Breen.
Bacon.
Francis Bacon. Kevin Bacon. Kevin Larney. It's unbelievable. The game works.
The game works.
Yeah.
The system works.
And it's so hot today. It's Kevin Larney out there.
Yeah. Simon Akers.
Shakers is hot today.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
No, let's do a good one for Simon Akers. This is the guy I met on the street.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Simon Acres.
Simon.
That's a hot today.
Yeah.
Ooh, Simon Acres. So it's like you're going like Scorcher.
Yeah.
It's a Simon Acres today.
Mark Stokes. What about
Mark
Sunstroke?
Stokes. Sunstrokes. Brilliant.
Ben Sunstroke.
Oh yeah, Ben Sunstroke. Right, that's a good one. Yeah, yeah.
Mark Maloney.
Have you guys met each other? Benson Stokes?
Yeah. Ben
So we're just
Sunstroke.
introducing them in the thank yous to each other. Go on to the next one. Sue.
Mark Maloney.
The fucking pavement is sparking Maloney today. It's fucking... No, that's not one, is it?
No, that's still a good one. It says he's donated 30 quid over the course of his subscription, so he deserves a good one.
Yeah, it's mine. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. I have a lot of you. Thank you to you. You know who you are.
What about Stark Son
Pony.
Sony? What?
A Stark Son Pony.
Stark?
Uh-huh.
Mark?
Summer Lark Money. He's got summer larks out there. It's scorching.
Yeah, the Southern Larks are singing,
money, and you
the
got
money is rolling in.
It's summertime and the summer larks are singing. The money is flowing.
Blaheen de Burka.
It's summertime. I just covered it. All the rest of them just become. And the blaheen is burger. What about hard hat working in the hot sun? Just a guy, just a bunch of dudes being...
What about Sunshine No Worker?
Nice! Next one. Let's keep going.
Alan Carroll?
Fucking hell.
A
lot of travel.
A lot of travel. What about Alan Castrell?
Cool.
You get it?
I think so, yeah.
His name's Alanka and he's going on a summertime stroll.
Yeah, actually that makes sense now you say it.
Rob Gale?
Rob Gale.
Hawk Gale.
A hot gale, yeah.
You know when it's summer and there's like a hurricane, but it's like scorching hot.
Yeah.
It's blowing hot, like air.
Yeah.
Like
sounds like Rob Gale to me.
What bit?
Blowing hot air
into your face.
He's
Stephen Bradley.
Season?
Yes.
I think I've already done something like this. Season.
Sadly.
It's a season, sadly. Summertime, is it a state of mind? No, it's a season, sadly.
Yeah.
Cool. Next one, please.
Here's a very original email.
Which is?
Yeah. And then there's no one.
Yeah, next one.
No one there. And then the next one is Richard Zimmerman. What about... Oh, here's one. Here's one. This one's good.
Okay.
Richard Shimmerman.
Yeah.
And the shimmer's a mirage.
It's a mirage. It's so hot today, and I'm seeing... What?
A man.
Yeah.
A man called Richard.
My eyes are playing tricks on me.
Yeah. There's like a huge pool of water.
Yeah.
And then you start running towards the mirage of a man. I'm so lonely. I just want a company.
Yeah.
Bridget Purcell.
You always say it in a very kind of Frenchy kind of way.
How do you
Bridget
pronounce
Purcell? No,
Perkle.
Bridget Purcell.
You say Perkle.
All right, let's think some of Perkle. All right, percolate.
Okay.
Bridget Percolate. Oh, the Fisher in the percolator. That's not really.
It doesn't even
Well, that's a
approach
reference
sense.
to Twin Peaks, but it doesn't really have much to do with summer, unfortunately.
What about Bridget?
It's not frigid.
Well, certainly not frigid.
Certainly not frigid. It's percolating.
Purcell.
Perspiring. Fucking hell.
Okay.
Come on.
Frigid and perspiring. Sounds like a good
I got
night to me.
menopause.
Yeah. Milky Fox.
Yeah. Tricky Spox. And let me tell you why that one makes sense. Okay.
What about Sunspot?
Oh yeah, that's good. Forget what I was going to say.
I know a sunny spot.
Yeah.
Kilkenny.
Yes. In a car.
Kyle O'Neill.
It's a Kyle O'Reilly scorcher today.
Yeah, I better kneel down.
Why? It's so unreal.
I'm going
how hot
to
it
kneel
is. Down.
and pray.
Pray to the sun.
Pray to the sun god to leave me alone.
Yeah.
Connor Barry.
Cash and carry. Because now that's
Now that's a shop you go to in the summer.
okay.
Who else here has an uncle that only goes to cash and carry in summer?
Am I right?
Am I right? Am I right?
I was seeing some
okay,
like,
here it is. First day of June. He's there. He's got the shorts on.
yeah.
He's got the fan. He's got a little fan.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, where's he gone?
Cash and carry.
Cash and carry.
What's the one thing?
He doesn't even buy anything.
One thing
know, he just likes the sales. He just likes the boxes that the lollipops come in.
Get a smiley on them and everything.
Yeah.
I was just thinking how we didn't talk about that guy who was saying that he was persecuted for being white, straight, and male in comedy.
Oh yeah, that
And then-
guy was so funny.
We looked up his clips, and one of them is like, "Are you sure your name's not Karen?"
Yeah.
Drops the mic, plays. He's edited it to play like Snoop Dogg over it.
Nothing
and,
but a G thing.
yeah,
Like, so funny.
and it turns out he's just very, very bad, and probably that's why he's not getting gigs. But also,
Because he
yeah,
he's even building up the Karen thing. Because
yeah,
he's like, sorry, love, would you stop talking? And then she's
it's like no,
no. And then, well, in that case, how about your boyfriend says something? Or is your name actually Karen?
yeah,
Like, it doesn't even flow.
yeah.
And then he pretends to a mic drop.
Yeah, and he fucks it up, and then. But I mean, the funny thing is that the clip's cut off after that point. It was like, what's the gig going to be like after that? Because if you say, "Can you stop talking?" and someone goes, "No," and then you go, "Here's a bad joke," they're going to be like sitting there, just going, "Well, you got me. I
Yeah.
better leave." You know,
He cuts off once the booing starts. Liam McCartan.
Liam McCartan. It's. No, wait,
Right.
did you miss a Connor?
Connor Barry, Cash and Carry.
Yeah, what's the. Oh, yeah, and that's it?
That's it.
Oh, yeah, cool.
I
And
did
the
a
next
whole
one-
routine around it.
No, it was good. I was just saying, was there some name after that that wasn't the one you read out?
Liam McCartan. Oh, we lost someone.
No, I don't think so.
Liam McCartan. What about Steambox?
Yeah. Just Shardian.
Bartman.
On a hot
Now,
day,
there's
that's the
summertime
last thing you
edition.
need.
That's, yeah. That is something you should not bring on a date.
Yeah, we should do it like that next time. We should actually look up Mock the Week ones
Yeah.
and try to do it like we're running up to the podium, you know?
Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah.
Something you would not hear your date say you should bring.
Yeah, a steam box to Shardian.
Charlotte. It was booing.
I was doing it in Andy's voice. A steam box to Shardian.
Yeah. Now do it in
Frankie Boyle?
what? Yeah.
Frankie Boyle. A steam... No, fuck,
No,
can't do
you
it.
lost it.
No, I lost it because I was...
Her box to Chardin is so old it's haunted.
That is one of the funniest bits ever. It's like where Sturley's like he's an angry man, and he's like he's on a show where the angriest comedians compete over who can get to the mic first,
Yeah.
and only the most angry. All right, next one. Anyway,
Claire O'Neill. Au
God.
pair.
Au pair. It's a noodle on today.
Did
It's
it again?
somebody saying, "Oh boy, it's a scorcher today,"
That's
but they're
someone-
having a stroke.
Yeah. Au pair, it's a noodle on today. Whew.
It's actually like completely fine. It's like the weather's normal. It's
Yeah.
just like it's hot here. It's just me, you know.
All their hair's falling out. Niall McGilla, cool.
Yeah, we need to do nothing with that.
Yeah, that's when you eat the short box. Once it's cool. Vernon Carey.
It's funny that like every single thing that we do with Niall's name, without fail, has always been to use the cool part of Niall McGilla cool.
Vernon Carey.
What about you're in denial that it's not cool? So that just to have you use another word from his name.
You still use cool.
I know, but I used another bit as
No,
well.
you
so-
didn't.
yes, I did. He's in denial that it's cool.
Right, okay.
Whatever, fucking alright.
We're in Kerry. What about go into Kerry for my summer holidays?
Yeah.
Funky the dog.
Staycation. He's dead now, R.I.P. Rest in power.
Yeah. He was fucked to death.
By another dolphin.
By another dog.
Who didn't want to stick around, apparently.
He was died of sexual exhaustion.
Yeah. You should see there's a family that just walked past and stared directly at the car with the most fucking, the coldest glance.
Really?
It's like, the oldest kid here is about 5, you know?
Yeah. Yeah,
even.
Kenny people are such fucking prudes, like.
We're just trying to talk about our sharp box.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's abuse.
Niamh Kelly. Martin Shkreli.
Why is it so? No. By the way, fuck, the time is really going to get away from. But did you see that they keep trying to get Martin Shkreli on Cometown?
Oh, really?
But he, like, for some reason, he films himself responding to his messages.
Okay.
So there's videos online of him talking to Stavros Halkias and Adam Friedland separately.
Oh, really?
And he's like, "Hey, this is Martin Shkreli getting back to your call." Oh, Martin. Oh, yeah. Just telling you about this podcast called Cometown, you know, and really think that you'd be great on it and you should come on. I'm not going on your podcast. It sounds stupid, and I hate it. And it's like, oh, right, well, you're a fucking piece of shit. And you raised insulin prices, you dumbass.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, what are you talking about? And like, he engages with them. Like, the videos are like 3 or 4 minutes long of just a conversation with them, just taking the piss out of it once he says no to being on the podcast.
Funny. Niamh Kelly.
How about Team Welly? Because I hate this summer and I want to go back to being in the rain. How about
Pauline Doyle?
Okay. Okay.
What about Paul?
How about scalding boil?
Yeah.
Did we already do that? But it is boiling and it's scalding today.
It's so hot that I would love to thrust my head into scalding hot water just to cool down.
Oh, that one got me.
Joe Joyce?
Woo. Rejoice he has risen in this summer.
Yeah.
No, Joe Joyce. To fucking throw. So we're going to keep with that one, and we'll have to figure out another word. All right. Throw
a.
Got to be so hot today if they hadn't thrown a bit of ice.
If you hadn't thrown a bit of.
Yeah. If you hadn't thrown it in the sea.
And what effect do you believe that had?
It's like a drink. You know, you put ice in it and it gets a little colder.
Right.
So you put an ice cube in the sea.
And it gets
problem solved.
Global warming solved.
I could be wrong, but I heard that was something that they came up with at one point.
Throw ice into the sea.
Well, more like get ice from like the mountaintops and places like that, and water, and you know, just to try and replenish. You know what?
You know what? I
shouldn't have started that one.
Sign.
So what I said is throw some ice in it. So that was Joe Joyce. That's throw, and then Joyce is ice.
Right.
Because they have the same like last thing.
Last sound.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you're happy with that.
But if you have another one, I'd like to hear it.
If you're happy, I'm happy.
Listen, it's very hot today, people.
It's not that hot.
It's fucking hot, okay?
But it's warm.
Fine.
Maybe throw some ice in it.
Yeah. So patreon.com/Celtic Ligers for more. We'll see you again on the bonus episode or the additional episode, I don't know, which should be out on Monday.
Yeah.
And this one will be out pretty late tonight, if not early tomorrow. But anyway, thank you very much to our new patron, Sean Donnelly. I'm going to give him an extra thank you. I like when people join, you give them a little extra thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Sean.
Appreciate it.
What made you join?
Letters on a postcard.
Yeah.
We cannot send that postcard back.
People never ask for the postcard back.
Oh, it's drawings, isn't it? You know?
Oh, yeah.
They used to be
Yeah,
on
it
Blue
used to always
Peter.
make me so sad.
Yeah, it's like...
I was like, but I want it back. I
know,
want to
yeah.
show it to you, but I do want it back.
Well, it's funny because like I thought, what do they do with that? They probably just dispose of all of them. But I follow the Double Z Entertainment, or the guys who do Zig and Zag, and they're just like taking pictures of all the drawings of Zig and Zag. So they like held on to a lot of them.
Oh, really?
I thought that was kind of adorable.
It is nice.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye bye.